that moves you. It can only be one place. Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Payne.
And welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon here at the Sunset Gower Studios, where Scandal and Murder, She Wrote are filmed, with UBN Radio TV, that's Universal Broadcasting Network. And there is no scandal, though, on this show. There's no gossip, and there's no K words at all. There's no Kardashian talk, because I want you to be focused on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And that's why I have guests and topics about hope and happiness. So if you've missed any of those, from Fran Drescher talking about how to reduce your risk to cancer, to Layla Ali about power and strength, to Corey Feldman and overcoming past, just so many different shows. You can go to my YouTube channel, or to iHeartRadio, or UBN Radio TV, or Stitcher, or everywhere where you just Google Dr. Marissa and you'll find those past shows and enjoy them. And then make sure, if you like them, to give me a review or the finger, a thumbs up. That would be awesome. And a shout out this week, as Kurt said to me, You've had a busy week. So I want to just give a peace in, peace out shout out to the amazing folks I got to splatter 8 ways to happiness on. First, thanks to my PR firm, Ascendant PR. I've been interviewed on CBS KMOX out of St. Louis, CEO Money Talk Live. Angels Radio AM, Bill Ayers in New York, LJM FM, and now have been featured on a plethora of print magazines this past week on a huge show, which is my big brother's KPFK show, Sound of Transformation. Thanks for all the love and the positive comments that I've gotten from them from that interview. And then the huge book signing I did on Sunday at the Saban Theater, our new home with Agape International Spiritual Center. And also a big shout out to my AWE scholarship winners, who are students that I got to work with this week to prep for their awards luncheon. Let me know if you want to support Asian women entrepreneurs, and I'll get you a banquet ticket. And finally, I'm just so grateful for all of the love and support. 8 Ways to Happiness, from wherever you are, continues to be just an incredible, the reception on the radio, in press. Everybody wants me back to talk about it, because it is time for everyone to grab happiness by the balls and to live out your birthright, the choice of being happy. So I'm so grateful. I will be this Saturday at another book signing. We'll talk about that at the end of the show when I invite you to my balance bar. So just know that you're going to be in Long Beach on Saturday. And today, it is call-in week, every second week of the month. Actually, I think I missed it by 1 week this time, but because of the book. But I get to help people balance their life tires and also smog check their stinking thinking. And this is a special call-in series this week, because it's also going to cover my last week of the month Sexual Healing with Dr. Marissa series, since I have a special guest next week, Brad Yates, who's emotional freedom technique. It was really too good to pass up, so we're switching it and just combining sexual healing today. So the questions today will be on relationships and romance. If you would like to be put on my caller list so that I can be the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, then please do contact me. If you email me, Dr. Marissa the number 4, balance@gmail.com will put you on that list. And today's callers, I think Liliana is the first one. I don't know if she's called in yet. She has not called in yet. So the number is on there. Could you give her a call right now and make sure that she's coming on? This is supposed to be great. And why don't I just go to my balance bar now and continue to tell you how you can balance more with me, because there's a ton of stuff coming up that's kind of exciting. One is the book signing on Saturday. It's going to be at Fern's Garden. For those of you who are in Southern California, I expect to see you. 2nd Street, it was also the location of my launch party. And Fern has been a friend and supporter for over a decade, and I just love her. And she was so happy to have the launch, and now we're having a celebration, because for those of you who don't know, I did not make the top 100 list on a bestseller list. I made the top 10, 3 top 10 lists for the 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. Number 4 on Denver Post, number 6 on Happiness, and number 7 on Success on Amazon. So I'm so grateful. 3 awards, 2 golds and a silver. So I expect to see you Saturday, 12 to 4 at Fern's Garden. And we do have Liliana now on the line. Good morning or good afternoon.
Good morning, Dr. Marissa. How are you?
I am happy and grateful. Thank you for checking in. And are you seated right now?
I am.
Perfect. Could you put your feet on the ground and palms up in your lap and gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and release. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Good. Another deep breath in through the nose. And releasing all the stories and the drama. And one more deep breath in. Connecting with me through chi, eternal energy. And release. Beautiful. Now you're connected to me. Gently open your eyes. On a scale of 1 to 10 in the area of relationships, how would you rate your relationships, your romantic relationships, on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being fabulous, could not be better, and 1 not so great.
4.
4. Then we're right on target. So tell me a little bit of why it's only a 4.
Okay. So I'm a single mom, and I've been divorced for 9 years.
Okay.
And I had a boyfriend for 5 years.
Okay.
And we broke up over 2 years and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last year or so, I've been thinking I'm ready to start dating.
Yep.
And I've been doing some online dating with 2 services.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I haven't met anybody, or I'm not dating anybody, and I haven't dated anybody in 2 years. So I'm wondering if what's wrong with me.
There's nothing
Am
wrong
I blocking
with
it,
you.
or?
No, there's nothing wrong with you. But I want to know some of the BS, the belief systems that you hold about relationships. So you had a marriage that your sentence was 9 years. I'm just kidding. You were you were married for 9 years. I always say that about my relationship because I'm happily divorced, and my sentence was 9.2 years. So similar. And do you believe that there's only one person for you?
No.
Good. So there's the first one. So do you believe that you need someone to complete you?
Yes.
Okay. So there's one. So it's kind of like, I want a guy to take my breath away. Do you want a guy to take your breath away? You want a guy to take your breath away, right? But if he takes your breath away, you're going to suffocate. Okay?
So no.
Yeah. So no. So here's the thing about Jerry Maguire and the whole BS that we grow up with, thinking that we are not whole unless we have a partner. Now, I'm not saying that it's not good to have a partner. In fact, I absolutely think that life is even more delicious when you are sharing it with someone, because you cannot have that feeling of romance with your kids or your parents or your siblings or your friends, right? You only get that relationship. You only get that feeling from a romantic relationship. So I absolutely agree that you are ready for the next chapter in your relationship. However, I don't want you to be looking for someone to complete you, because as soon as that is your primary goal, it's. Have you ever been with people who look like they need a lot of attention?
I've seen people, yeah.
Is it a turn on or a turn off?
Turn off.
Yeah. So what we want is, you are a whole, beautiful, complete person in and of yourself. I'm not hearing yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Yes, I am.
Good. Because I want you to keep telling yourself that. Now, a lot of us have little voices in our head that tell us, oh, we're not that attractive, we're not that pretty, we're not, we don't deserve to have a relationship. All that's BS. So I want you to take a breath and let all that go. So that, what goes out with that is also your question when you said, is there something wrong with me? Okay, that makes me think that you're actually allowing those critical voices to drive your life car over a cliff. Okay, so none of that, no more. Okay, you are beautiful, whole and complete. And are there good things about you?
Oh, many.
Good. Are there bad things about you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Are there more good things than bad things?
Yes.
Okay. So you are right on track. You're 88% fabulous, just like I am. And then we have our 12% days. Okay. So what dating is right now is, you're not trying to sell, and this is why dating is sometimes more like the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Remember ABC Wide World of Sports? Because we go out there thinking we are looking for someone to complete us. So we have to be perfect, and we want to find someone who's perfect to complete. So what I want you to do is walk in the completeness of who you are. And guess what you're doing? You're just looking for a match. You're not looking for a complete. Now, the difference between complete and a match is what? So complete means something's missing in you, right? And they're going to provide something that is missing. Match is to complete, seeing if there's a fit between the two. Huge difference. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So from now on, dating is not looking for a man, is not looking for a partner, is not looking for someone to complete you. From this point forward, your dating is just about having fun and seeing if there's a match. And if there's a match, great. Let's see if there's a match the next time we go out. Get it?
Okay.
It's
I get it.
a lot less pressure, right? You can be yourself, and nobody's the bad guy if there's no match. So here's a huge thing. This is actually in my new book, Chapter 4, Out of Heartbreak into Love. So a lot of us suffer and diminish our happiness needlessly because we see relationships that end as failures. Relationships that end are not failures. They are just, they don't match anymore. So you can be with a person for 3 months or 3 years or 30 years, but when it's not a match anymore, the chapter's over. There's no one to blame. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's not a big deal. But we make ourselves sick, number one, with the BS system that there's only one, and so we have to make it work. You don't have to make it work. If it works 80% of the time, you're golden. And you're being yourself, and they're being themselves. So the next, if that's true, and I believe it is, because I wrote it, and I know, and happiness is important to me, right? I want to feel good most of the time. So when there's a match, it feels good. When there's no match, it doesn't feel good. Does that make? Do I have an agreement on that?
Yes.
Okay. So you're looking for a match. Now, what is a match? So you sound like a pretty social person. You like doing different things, right?
Yes.
You're adventurous, right? You're responsible, right? You
most of the time.
Most of the time. What's your favorite thing? What's your top 3 things that you love to do? Like you get excited about?
I love dancing.
Okay, perfect.
I love traveling.
Good.
Everywhere.
Yep.
And I love spending time with my kids.
Beautiful. Okay. So kids we're going to keep out of the equation because we don't want to introduce that until it's been, 6 to 9 months when there's a decision. Because we want to be the best role models for our kids. So longer term, that's my opinion, is the best time to introduce the kids. So let's work on the first 2. So would you be a match with someone who hates dancing and loves to stay in and watch TV all the time?
No, that's my ex-husband.
There you go.
That wasn't a match.
Yeah, it wasn't a match. Okay, but you picked him. So I don't think it. I believe that you probably knew that was who he was, but there were other things that you liked more. But then after a while, those things drove you crazy, right? So this time, we got to fix your picker. So when you're going out on dates, when you're looking at profiles, when you're looking at matches, if the person doesn't say, I love to travel and I love dancing, I wouldn't even pick them. Those are 2 of your favorite things. You want to share those things with someone else. So if you see someone who says, I love staying in and watching movies and quiet nights, that's not your guy. So don't pick them, no matter how cute they are. Got it? So your first thing from now on is have a filter that says dancing. That's number 1. And when you're not dating, which should be once a week, going out with girlfriends, go dancing. That way you're having fun whether you meet someone or not. Does that make sense?
I do.
Good.
I do. Yeah, I go
okay.
dancing
by
myself. Yeah.
Perfect.
With my girlfriends.
And with your girlfriends. And there's meetups that you can look at. There's single dancing meetups you can go to. There's so many possibilities. So that's the other thing. You have to go in there optimistic. None of this, I've been dating for 2 years and nothing's happened. That is not helping. When you notice what you want is not happening, more of that will happen. So that's law of attraction. I don't know if you're a practitioner of that or understand what that is. It's a law just like gravity. What you focus on grows bigger. So if you're negative about dating, it will grow bigger. You're going to have negative dating experiences. Promise. If you come in with a open, I'm just going to have fun and see if there's a match, then you're going to have fun and you're going to have matches. Some of them will be matches for a week. Some of them will be matches for 3 months or 9 months or 9 years. But it's so beautiful if we can leave relationships without blaming the other person. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to, want to hang out with them and be totally in love with them, right? But the whole thing about you're a jerk and you broke your promises. That leaving of relationships will guarantee you more of the same in the next because it's a negative energy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Perfect. So if you can also thank your past relationships for all that they taught you about life and love, both positive and what you don't like, then we're also in a much better move forward place. Does that help?
It does. Mm-hmm.
Good. So if you adopt those two things, I promise you, you're probably going to email me and say, guess what? It can happen that fast. So it's just leaving all that. That's what we were leaving when we released the breath. You can just release all of that. And then, start your day with gratitude. Start with 8 things that you love about what you've learned about relationships, what you know about yourself. And then I would not make a huge list of what you want in a guy. I would just have those top 2, the dancing and the travel, that's enough. And then see what happens.
Okay.
Okay?
I will try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling in and being a victim of my advice that I don't always use. Thank you, Liliana. All right. Applause for my my guest. Where's my applause? There it is right there. Yay! Thank you so much. So do let me know what happens, okay?
Okay, I will let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And before we go to our next caller, we're going to break to thank our sponsors who make this show possible. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. Celebrate with me, Dr. Marissa, my new award-winning and best-selling book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are at Fern's Garden this Saturday on 2nd Street, Belmont Shore, noon to 4 p.m. 8 Ways hit not 1 but 3 top 10 bestseller lists, as well as 2 gold and 1 silver book medals. I'll be doing a reading as well as signing books, so come celebrate Saturday and RSVP on Eventbrite. 8 Ways to Happiness. All right, and we are back to my show. Take my advice, I'm not using it. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa. We're breaking in a new sound engineer, Ryan. He's doing a great job. You're tuned in. If you don't already know, if you just stumbled on me, this is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with who am I? With Dr. Marissa. And we are broadcasting live out of the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California. I have not checked to see if there are any questions that are coming in, but we have 2 callers today who are talking about relationships and romance. You just heard Liliana and talking about dating and why her dating is not ending up in a relationship that she wants. So you might want to re-listen to that if that sounds like you. We are on UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network, out of the Sunset Gower Studios. And I'm so happy to have you here. And are we ready with our next caller? We are not ready with our next caller. All right. So I think we have a number for him too. Did we put a number with him? I should have called Rochelle to make sure that was coming. But let's see. I know that he emailed me, and we'll just be here. And then actually, as I'm doing this, I'm going to ask Kurt to sit in for a second. Yes, I want you to jump in, and I want you, because you've been married now. Okay, here's a number right there. His mobile. Can you get that? Yeah. All right. So you've been married for how many years? This is my, he is the director of engineering here at Universal Broadcasting Network. I'm sorry? Yes. And you've been married for how long?
One of those.
There we go.
There I am. Hey, I've been married for about 3 years now.
3 years now.
Yeah.
And would you say that 80% of the time it's good?
Oh, more than that.
More than that?
Oh, yeah. I love her.
I know. That's why I'm asking you the
Yeah.
questions. So, do you ever fight?
Oh, of course. Everyone fights.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do
not gonna say
you
it's
What
perfect.
do you do? Okay. So, what do you do when you fight that gets you over the fight?
I just don't like being mad at her or being away from her. So usually it ends up with both of us coming back to each other and making up and just being, because we do love each other. So we want to be with each other.
Yeah.
So it's just that separation of not talking to her. Oh, this is the love of my life, and I can't communicate with her right now.
Right.
So
Right.
I want to be able to talk to her again.
That's
So-
awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what tip would you have for anyone? Is he on now? Okay. What tip would you have based on your experience with relationships, like for the last caller?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you don't have hobbies, if you don't have general interests, exactly like what she was talking about. I mean, what you were saying. If
Yeah.
you don't like, if you don't see, I like to stay in and watch movies.
Right.
And so does my wife.
Right. So
we-
that's a match.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
We like
There
to do
you
that.
go.
So if I didn't have anything in common with her, why would I be with her?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's key. Thank you for filling in for
Oh,
a
no
second
problem.
as we got Mike on the phone. He's going to kill me. I've never done that with him. All right. And here we go. Welcome to the show. It is Mike. Can you hear me? We're using a new system too, so it's not all Ryan's fault. We're actually using a new call-in system so that people don't have to keep calling in. So we have someone on the line. Hello? Can you hear me? Is it a 714 number? Okay, so he cannot hear me, or we cannot hear him. I believe it is Mike. If you can hear me, can you hang up and hold on one second. Don't hang up yet. We're trying something with no. We can't hear you. So can we call him from that line? Okay, we're gonna hang up and call you back. That was a call? Oh, we did call him and we couldn't hear it. Okay, so. Okay, I am going to try something else. Your callers are not calling. I had someone do this for me.
Mike Mastano.
Is not available.
Oh.
Please leave a message.
All right. So let's go back to the balance bar, and we'll do our announcements. Thank you. You did remember that. The balance bar, let's see. I am going to be giving away Asian Oprah giveaways. I'm going to be giving away a copy of my book if you come to Fern's Garden. And we're going to have a little raffle. And I will also be giving away one of my DVDs, my Balanced Tai Chi Gong DVDs, as well as my motivational card. So you'll have to come down to Fern's Garden. Also, today is day 21 on round 86 of the 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa. And if you don't know what that is, I started in July of 2011 this fast, and it's trying not to complain for 21 days in a row. So that is what we're
Mike
trying to
Mastano.
do. And if you haven't already gotten the app, there's an app made by teenagers that is going to help you not complain. And every day I am going online, telling you balance tips on how not to complain. So yesterday's was, if you want a dog, don't buy a cat, from Don Miguel Ruiz's Mastery of Love book. And it just happens to be perfect with the theme that I just gave my first caller about making sure that there's common interests. And of course, Kurt agreed with me. And so then we know that's the truth. So I am very happy to give you the code for a free app if you also are interested in joining the 21-day fast, and I'll get you that for free. So let's see. The other thing is September 12th and 13th. I am so grateful to tell you that I'm on a stage that I've never been on before, and I'm really, really grateful because he is an awesome guy who just finished his first major movie production called The Wishman. And there is a picture up there that I did want to show, and he is Greg Reed, and he puts on this amazing twice-a-year business conference like no other called Secret Knocks, and I believe it's all sold out. I do know that he said that if I had a friend that really, really wanted to go, that we could make an exception. So if you are interested in that, let me know as well. The speakers are going to be a surprise, except I can leak a couple of them because I've interviewed all three of the ones that I'm going to tell you about. One is the founder of Ugg Boots, Brian Smith, who's amazing. He's one of the speakers, and a 4-time guest of mine and really good friend. And you love her a lot. I think every single person, maybe one person out of 400 or 500 have said that they prefer Ginger, but most of you prefer Marianne. And Marianne from Gilligan's Island, Dawn Wells, is going to be a speaker there. And I am going to be a speaker there. So that's Secret Knocks in San Diego at the Performing Arts Center. You do need tickets ahead of time. Do not show up September 12th and 13th. For those of you who've ever been there, it's amazing. There's probably $400,000 worth of things that get put in a tub all throughout the 2 days. And then there's a contest to see who gets all of that. And I almost won last year. I just missed out on the last throw of a ball, but that's another story. So that's September 12th and 13th. So let me know if you would like to go to that. As well, we will be presenting the release of Frank Shankwitz's Wishman movie. I don't know if we're showing the whole movie, but we are definitely going to get a little bit of it. And this is the Make-A-Wish Foundation co-founder who Greg talked to, I guess 2 years ago. I think I was part of that conversation, and he asked Frank, what would you wish for? Because he's granted so many wishes to children who were terminally ill, and he says, I would love to have a story made so that what he built is not forgotten. So Greg Reed stepped up, never done a movie before, and has learned a lot and has come up with this amazing movie. And two of my favorite actors are also in there. One is Andrew Steele, who actually put me on the red carpet at one of his events, Flicks for Change, as well as Christian Gagnère, who is adorable, my very young actor friend. You probably remember him from the Honda commercial. So that is part of the invitation on how to balance with me. As well, this Saturday I will be teaching at the beach, and that's at Rosie's Dog Beach. I'll be doing Balance Tai Chi Gong, and if you could RSVP at Meetup for Balanced Tai Chi Gong, moving meditation that promotes inner peace one breath at a time. That would be awesome. So we still are having a little technical difficulty, and it's kind of weird because he really, really, really wanted to be on the show. Oh, okay. Here we go. And welcome to the show. I don't know what happened.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know.
I was having some problems dialing in. Finally got through now.
Oh, good. All right. So we'll just jump right in because we only have like 5 minutes. So take a deep breath in and connect with me through the nose and release. Beautiful.
Sorry, the connection's not too good. It's kind of cutting out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are as well, but that's okay. We'll make do. And let's just jump right into your question. What is it about your romance or relationships that you would like advice on?
It's pretty much about moving forward.
Okay.
Like when you're, closing one door and opening chapters, it's like, like there's it's like, why is it harder for some people to let go, and then others find it a lot easier to realize that the relationship is not one that is mutual, one that helps both parties grow.
So are you the one that's having...
how do you help the other person, or is that the other person really has to work on themselves?
Correct. That's none of your business. It is difficult. I'm not saying that it isn't, especially if two people are in different places with it. But I think what you said at the beginning about it, the next chapter, is a really good analogy that I just used with the caller before. So looking at as a chapter, and then being really compassionate that other person had different dreams for the relationship, and being just as compassionate as possible, and then also affirming that it just isn't a match anymore. And I'm sure you've already said that, there's someone who will be more appreciative of you or a better match of you, but sometimes that doesn't feel good coming from the person who's doing the breaking up.
Yes.
So for you,
thank you for that.
Yeah, just for you to stay compassionate as possible, and obviously, if there's, you don't want to flaunt if you're dating, maybe on your Facebook or whatever you probably don't want to date someone in the same circle to make it just a little easier for the other person. How long was that relationship?
Yeah. Oh, it's about 15 years. And, just come to this realization that for me, it's not that because I'm looking for somebody else. It's just that I am looking to grow myself, and, I can't grow beyond that when I just feel that, both of us are pulling each other down.
Yeah.
So really, it's like not like I'm looking for a relationship, because that's the wrong thing. You have to really love yourself first and be comfortable. Yeah. But it's just that for me, it's like there's that feeling of guilt, remorse. It's like, I'm hurting this other person, but in the long term, we're going to hurt each other even more by staying in something that doesn't work.
Yes. Yeah. I've often said that the BS, the belief system that we are fed, that relationships are supposed to last until death and do us part, really hurts relationships. It hurts relationships, and it hurts people, because if you think about, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here with you, Mike, that we're so different, and as we live, we expand and evolve and grow, and so even coming together, and maybe this is something that she listens to, this is for you, that I'm sure you're a beautiful, what's her name? Or actually, don't give me her name. So I'm just going to say that if she's listening, and she might be, that you are an amazing, beautiful person that has had a beautiful 15-year chapter with a relationship that did, you learned a lot about who you are and about love, and there was a match. And here's the thing: it's so difficult, one, to find someone who matches you at the beginning. I shouldn't say that. That's not true. It's not easy. It's not difficult, but it's not easy. But there are a lot of more matches than there are unmatches. But then after the match happens, and that's what you've gone through 15 years of experience, and now it's not a match. You've grown in a different direction. So I applaud you, as bad as you feel about this, that this, I would say, this is, you are honoring yourself and not being codependent and staying in a relationship that you know isn't a match. So for your partner, your partner that is now starting a different chapter, and you're starting a different chapter, if she can hear that it's not personal, and I think that's the point I was trying to make too with the earlier caller, is in relationships, when it's not a match, the temptation is to blame the other person. You know, if you had been more blah, 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 or if you hadn't have been more blah, 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 it would still be okay. But it being okay is not as good, as wonderful as being fabulous. So that BS system of, you know, just being comfortable, I think also hurts us as human beings, because this is the time to grow and expand and explore and really be the best that we can be, and then synergize with someone who's going to be the best, that enable you to be even better than you are. So I think for you, just not going down the rabbit hole of guilt, and because there's not anything to be guilt about. You can be compassionate, which is different than guilt. So choosing compassion versus guilt is different. Now, do you still talk to her and try to be friends with her?
Yeah, well, we're still in that process, but I don't engage in the same circles anymore.
Okay.
It's been a while. I chose to let go of circles that were not conducive to my growth. Because it's like going to be like a he said, she said, and I just choose not to engage in that type of behavior.
Yeah. That's a tough one, because that is also the common thing that people do, is blame the other person. So if you just do the Michelle Obama, stay high and don't go low, and just love her from afar and detach with love, and be really grateful. If you haven't already written her something, I would write her something that says all of the things that you are so grateful for, that you've learned about yourself and you've learned about love, that are fabulous and beautiful, and you could not have had that without her. I would write that down. I think that would be a really beautiful gift to her. Yeah. And help her not take it so personally. Does that help?
Thank you. Yes.
Fabulous. And we are out of time, so I did promise that we would give you a little shout out, and what it is that you do, and I know you've written a book.
Yes, I have. I'm a health coach, and I basically wrote a book about my own journey of self-healing, losing 100 pounds and reversing type 2 diabetes, and that's my book is called I Am Enough, Healing a Broken Body.
Oh, beautiful. And now you can do another one called I Am Enough, Healing a Broken Heart. Right?
That's going to be in the works too, I guess.
There you go. There you go. Well,
from a compassionate and loving standpoint.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. And our short time, but it was still, hopefully you got something from that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. And we are at the end of the show, and I actually have done most of the balance bar. I do want to just give you another balance tool from my Chapter 4, Out of Heartbreak into Love, and that is what I've been talking about. I alluded to the 3-month. So I have what I call the pregnancy model of relationships, and oftentimes the first 3 months are the glow, And that's when you feel really good and you show your best foot and everybody's fabulous and you get that little butterfly feeling and everything's wonderful. And then the second 3 months is when the real you comes out and the real them comes out. And it's not, if we all can change that from they promised or they made promises or they're a different person now. No, it's just a filling out. Second trimester of pregnancy is uncomfortable, right? You're bloated. You have sickness. You don't feel good. You look a little green. Well, that's what happens when you get to know the full person. So you had the first 3 months of really cool, and the second 3 months of a little bit of reality, and the other parts of them that are not 88, the 12%, not the 88% fabulous. And then the last three, the third trimester, is just the negotiation phase. Do we match 80% of the time? And if we do, then let's decide to continue. If we don't match 80% of the time, no harm, no foul, and it's over, and no one is to blame. So if we all adopted this model, we would have a lot more happy breakups. I don't know many happy breakups. Most breakups end up with one person blaming the other person blaming the other, and there's a lot of hurt, pain, blame, shame, and anger. And that eats into our happiness. We cannot be happy 88% of the time. When every relationship we have, we end up saying, you're bad, you're wrong, it's your fault. If we can see it as a 9-month process, and then between, the 4th month and the 9th month, if there's not a match, you can release and say, that was a great chapter. I learned even more what I like and what I don't. And thank you so much. And blessings. So that wouldn't that be an amazing world if all relationships ended like that? So that's what we're going for, at least in 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. So that is a balance tool. I hope you enjoy it. I hope to see you this Saturday at Fern's Garden in Belmont Shore. I wish you all the best. Thank you for hanging in there with our shift happens and adjusting to the different order of the show. But remember, this is a show about hope and happiness and a little bit of flexibility. Next week, I mentioned I am super excited to have live in studio a new friend of mine that shared a stage with me on the Women of Global Change European cruise. And then we hung out in Rome together with him and his wife, Christy. He's a world-renowned expert of tapping, not tap dancing, but a powerful technique called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, which we will learn together in studio. He will be here broadcasting live from Sunset Gower. So if you're suffering from anxiety, fear, or phobias, you'll want to tune in next week for Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive, EI. And remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. It's world peace through inner peace.
To take away the part of me that wants to stay. It's all I want, to hear my life and sing along. For without it, there's no laughter, no tears, lonely days after, no memories for the way things used to be. Many a friend has stopped along the I can see the life you're living through the windows of your singing. Please play another melody for me. Just let me sing, let me laugh, let me cry. Don't take my songs away, they have so much to say. 'Cause music is my life, it's how I show the world what life really means to me. But you don't understand just what my music means to me. And you know you never cared enough to try at all to see that every word has meaning, part of everything that
The U.S. Postal Service has 30,000 outlets serving every part of America. It employs 630,000 people in good middle-class jobs. And it proudly delivers letters and packages clear across the country for a pittance. It's a jewel of public service excellence. Therefore, it must be destroyed. Such is the fevered logic of laissez-faire-headed corporate supremacists like the billionaire Koch brothers and the right-wing politicians who serve them. This malevolent gang of wrecking ball privatizers includes such prominent trumpeteers as